All right, we're joined by Prasa spokesperson Makosini Mgitwa in studio. Makosini, thanks for your time. I spoke to you yesterday. You've reached a solution. Tell us how.
Look, this morning, the administrator of Prasa, Mr. Bongisizwe Mpondo, instructed our finance department to release funds to Autopax so that they can be able to pay salaries. But I must take this opportunity to profusely and unconditionally apologize to our employees. What happened to them shouldn't have happened. If you wake up every morning, go to work for the whole month, you expect pay for the whole month, not a portion of it. And we will endeavor to ensure that that doesn't happen again.
So they get paid by Thursday, I see, right? Full salaries?
The process to move funds from Prasa to Autopax and from Autopax into the accounts of the employees, that process is ongoing even as we speak. Those who are lucky maybe to bank with certain banks, they will get the money today or tomorrow, but by Thursday, everybody should have received their money.
Yeah, so let's talk about the management at Autopax who are responsible for this mess. Of course, they waited until the last minute to tell workers that they couldn't pay them. They also waited to tell you that they didn't have the money. Why?
Look, I think at Prasa we know that Autopax has financial difficulties. We sit with the acting CEO of Autopax at Exco, so we are quite familiar with the situation at Autopax. I think it was a mistake not to inform workers in time that they are not going to get full salaries. But that is not the point as far as I'm concerned. The point is that there shouldn't be a situation where workers don't get their money in full. And we should ensure that, we don't allow the bureaucratic processes inside the company or the companies to affect the employees. You'll appreciate that Autopax is only a subsidiary of Prasa. It's not a division of Prasa. So it's not easy to move funds from Prasa to Autopax. There has to be some loan agreements. And, whenever you talk about legal documents, then you start getting in a situation where one person says one thing and the other person says a completely different thing.
So I would argue that that is the point. The fact that the acting CEO did not, try to address this before he reached crisis point is the problem here. Because if he saw that he didn't have enough money to pay the workers, then there wouldn't have been a problem in the first place.
Look, I think the point that I'm making to you, Shahan, I'm not discounting what you're saying, but I'm saying at Prasa the situation is well known. We know, sitting at Prasa, that Autopax has financial difficulties and that they may not be able to pay their workers. I think what is a problem here is that there are some bureaucratic processes that we allow to circumvent what needs to be done so that the poor workers are the ones who are negatively impacted. If you talk to people at our finance department at Prasa, they'll tell you that before you can move money from Prasa to Autopax, there are processes that you have to follow. But if you talk to people at Autopax, they'll tell you that, well, you know our situation, and what you ask of us is what we can't give you. So I wish I had the wisdom of Solomon to determine who is telling the right thing or not. But all that as it may be, the situation is that Autopax must be well resourced, well funded, capitalized, so that it can be able to get stock of new buses. We should be able to move people with our buses. That we should be able to pay our employees on time.
So forgive me, but I'm going to hop on this now, right? Because you have an acting CEO who's basically not doing his job, and you're giving me excuses about red tape and logistics within the company as to why workers were not paid. The reality is that you had over 1,000 people who only got a quarter of their salary because the CEO is failing to pay people. And that's the problem. What action are you taking against the CEO?
Let's start here, Shahan. I don't think that this acting CEO is the reason Autopax is broke. I think he came in, found a situation that was already dire and desperate. We may have our views individually as to how he has handled the situation.
He handled it poorly. There's no other view except him handling it poorly. He's ultimately responsible as the CEO of Autopax for paying staff.
Yes. Shahan, I think I'm now on solution mode. The mode of what is it that we can do to ensure that we don't get back to the situation that we're in now.
Consequence mode, Makosini. What are the consequences so that this doesn't happen again?
Absolutely. You're quite correct. One of the tasks of the administrator is to ensure that there's consequence management, something that hasn't been the norm at Prasa. But I don't think that it would be proper for me as the spokesperson of the organization to sit here and give summary judgment on who did what wrong or who did what right. There will be processes, I can assure you.
So you are investigating?
There will be processes that will be followed to see if somebody can be held responsible for what happened. But again, the most important thing is to make sure that it doesn't happen again because, you know, you yourself and myself, if you are only paid 25% of what you're expecting at the end of the month, it's not only that you're not going to be happy, but you're going to be seriously inconvenienced, and some people may even lose assets because of that. It's not something that we take lightly, and again, I reiterate our apology, and we'll try our best to make sure that it doesn't happen again.
Did the CEO get his salary last month?
I don't know. I didn't check that with him. You know, I would hope that the portion, paying a portion of a salary affects everybody who draws a salary from Autopax.
You should have checked, because if that CEO got his full salary and workers did not get their full salaries, there's a problem.
Yes, I'm saying, you know, what should happen is that the entire payroll of Autopax should get only 25%. What I do not know is if the acting CEO is sitting in the payroll of Autopax, because he's not a full employee of Autopax. He's somebody who was deployed there to try and manage the situation there.
Yeah, and that's why I would speak to the reality that he doesn't care about the workers getting their salary on time, because he's getting paid through Prasa or some other body that oversees him and his job.
You will realize that I'm trying very much not to personalize the problem. Because I really honestly do not have the wisdom of Solomon to say it is the acting CEO who is culpable. It could very well be that the blame lies elsewhere. For me, I think the important thing is to make sure that workers are paid and that it doesn't happen again, that they get only a portion of their salaries.
Okay. Let me be outraged a bit later on. Can you find out whether that CEO got his full salary and let us know? My team will contact you. Hopefully we'll have an update by 5 o'clock. Appreciate your time. Prasa spokesperson Makosini Mgitwa.